Japanese soldiers fired their guns to scare off the villagers, then used gasoline to ignite crushed bones, creating thick smoke, and seized the islanders' grain. They hid behind the mountain, quietly observing, to see if any large Japanese force would arrive. But in reality, Japan had already declared unconditional surrender. These 4 soldiers, however, refused to believe it, and continued to fight on the island for 30 more years. This is a true story that took place after World War II ended. In February 1945, the U.S. military officially landed on Lubang Island, and quickly wiped out most of the Japanese forces. Only about 40 soldiers managed to escape. They split into 2 groups, and continued their mission to harass American troops. But soon, all of them were killed in action. All except 4 Japanese soldiers. The Philippine military repeatedly used loudspeakers to urge surrender, but the men remained unmoved. Even after receiving leaflets stating the war had ended, they dismissed it entirely, believing it to be wartime propaganda. Their commanding officer, deeply indoctrinated by Japanese militarism, firmly believed Japan would return to retake the island. He had issued an order to the men, fight the Americans to the very end, and only he could rescind that order. So the 4 men hid in the jungle, building shelters out of reed leaves, stealing food from islanders whenever they were hungry. But over time, they noticed that American troops were appearing less frequently, while Filipino police forces started showing up more. One day, while searching the area at the foot of the mountain, they captured 2 local villagers. The villagers told them the Americans were gone, and that the war was over. The Japanese soldiers were skeptical. Suddenly, Filipino troops spotted them. And killed several of their comrades. This only confirmed their suspicion. It must be a trap set by the Americans. Surely the war was still ongoing. So they decided to build an intelligence post to wait until the Japanese army returned. And so, they lived in the jungle for another 4 years. Prolonged malnutrition left them emaciated and frail. To finally enjoy a proper meal of meat, the 4 decided to risk a trip near the village, to ambush a villager's water buffalo. But after running through the jungle for a whole day, they still hadn't found any villages. 2 of them even got into an argument over it. At this point, eating meat had become their top priority. Finally, at dawn the next day, they found a white ox at the foot of the mountain.